Okay, let's talk about job interviews. You're in the hot seat, everything is going great, you're nailing all their questions, and then they flip the script. This isn't just the end of the interview, it's your biggest opportunity to really stand out from the crowd and prove you're the one they need to hire. And that is the mindset you need to have. This is the moment where you stop being just the person being interviewed. Now you're the investigator. You're figuring out if this company, this team, this job is actually the right fit for you. So, to really make the most of this moment, you can't just ask random questions. You need a strategy. You need to go in with a clear idea of what you're trying to achieve. Every question you ask should really be doing two things at once. First, you're assessing them. Is this job what you think it is? Is this a company you actually want to work for? And second, you're demonstrating your value. Your questions should subtly but constantly remind them that you are the solution to their problems. Now, how you actually phrase your questions makes a huge difference. Author John Lees points out that when you do this, you force the interviewer to actually picture you in the role. They start visualizing you doing the work, and once that image is in their head, it's really hard to shake. It's a fantastic little trick. And remember, this shouldn't feel like a pop quiz at the end of the interview. The very best questions feel like a natural part of the conversation you've been having all along. You can refer back to something they mentioned earlier, a project, a challenge. It shows you're not just reading from a script, you've been actively listening and engaging the whole time. All right, let's get into the actual questions. Think of this next part as a toolkit, not a script. You're not going to memorize all of these. Instead, you'll pick and choose the best ones for your specific situation. First up, questions about the job itself. You need to know what success actually looks like. Asking things like, what's the most important thing I should accomplish in the first 90 days? Shows that you're focused on hitting the ground running and delivering results, not just collecting a paycheck. Okay, next, the team. Because you're not just taking a job, you're joining a group of people. Now, that first question there, what types of skills is the team missing? That one's a game changer. It's the perfect setup for you to then explain how your skills fill that exact gap. It's brilliant. If you happen to be interviewing with the person who would be your direct manager, that is a golden opportunity. This is your chance to interview your future boss. Ask about their management experience, what they love about working there. Their answers will tell you a ton about what your day-to-day life would actually be like. Now, let's zoom out to the company as a whole. And here is a huge non-negotiable rule. Do not ask anything you could have found with a 5-second Google search. It just makes you look unprepared. Instead, ask for their perspective, like what gets you most excited about the company's future. That shows you've done your basic homework, and now you want the inside scoop. Company culture can be a tricky thing to figure out. You can't just ask, is the culture good? So you have to be a bit of a detective. Questions like, what do new employees typically find surprising, can get you some really candid answers. But here's a really important reality check. An interviewer is almost never going to say, oh yeah, the culture here is terrible. They're in sales mode, right? They're selling the job to you. So you have to listen very carefully to not just what they say, but how they say it and what they might be leaving out. A good job should be more than just a job. It should be a step forward in your career. Asking about growth and development shows that you're thinking long-term. You're not just looking for a placeholder. You want to build a future with a company. And trust me, that's exactly what they want to hear. Okay, so we've covered what to ask, but what's just as important is knowing what not to ask, or at least when to ask it, because bringing up the wrong topic at the wrong time can really sink your chances. As you're wrapping things up, these are your go-to closing questions. Asking about next steps is a must. It shows you're eager. And I really love this one. Is there anything I can clarify about my qualifications? It's your last chance to address any lingering doubts they might have about you. And this slide right here is probably one of the most important takeaways. Do not ask about salary, benefits, or vacation time until after you have a job offer in hand. Why? It's all about leverage. Once they've decided they want you, then you're in a position to negotiate, not before. Okay, let's wrap all of this up into a simple, straightforward plan that you can use for your very next interview. So what's the game plan? Simple. You don't need to bombard them with a dozen questions. Your goal should be to ask 2 or 3 really thoughtful, relevant questions. So maybe prepare 5 or 6 in advance, listen closely during the interview, and then pick the couple that make the most sense based on the conversation you just had. Quality over quantity, always. So the next time you're getting ready for an interview, I want you to think about this. What is the one single question you can ask that will not only get you the answers you need, but will also convince them that you are, without a doubt, the absolute best person for the job?